Most people approach their desires like a man trying to push a river upstream. They exert tremendous effort. They exhaust themselves in futile struggle. And then they wonder why their dreams remain elusive. But I tell you tonight, the river of creation flows naturally toward your good when you align yourself with its current. The moment you cease to resist, the moment you truly relax into the knowing of your wish fulfilled, that very moment the entire universe conspires to bring your desire into manifestation. Let me share with you what I mean by relaxation in its truest sense. I do not speak of mere physical relaxation, though that has its place. I speak of that deep, profound relaxation of the mind that comes when you stop trying to figure out how your desire will come to pass. I speak of the relaxation that comes when you stop monitoring the outer world for signs of change. I speak of the relaxation that emerges when you finally understand that creation is finished, that everything you could ever want already exists in the invisible realm of imagination, waiting only for your recognition and acceptance. When I was a young man in Barbados, I had a burning desire to come to America. Like most people, I began by trying to find a way. I searched for opportunities. I made plans. I worried about money and visas and all the seeming obstacles that stood between me and my dream. The harder I tried, the more elusive the path became. Then one day, an old man in my village shared with me a truth that changed everything. He said, "Neville, stop trying to go to America, and instead go to America in your imagination. Live there, feel yourself there, make it so real that your physical senses cannot distinguish between your imaginal experience and physical reality." That night, I did exactly as he suggested. I imagined myself in New York City. I felt the excitement of walking down Broadway. I smelled the autumn air. I heard the sounds of the great metropolis. I felt the satisfaction of having achieved my dream. But here is the crucial point. I did not imagine these things with strain or effort. I simply relaxed into the experience, allowed myself to be there completely. And then I fell asleep in that beautiful assumption. Within months, through a series of events that seemed miraculous at the time, but which I now understand to be the natural unfolding of an imaginal act, I found myself living in New York City. This is what I mean when I say relax and allow. You do not create your good through force. You do not manifest your desires through struggle. You create through the gentle, natural assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled, and then you allow that assumption to harden into fact through repetition and faith. But let me address something that troubles many of you. You say, "Neville, my desire seems impossible. The doctors have given their verdict. The bank account shows zero. The person I love is married to another. How can I relax when everything in my world contradicts my desire?" My friends, this is precisely when relaxation becomes most important, for it is in the face of seeming impossibility that the power of imagination shines brightest. I want you to understand something fundamental about the nature of reality. What you call the impossible is only impossible from the limited perspective of your current state of consciousness, from the perspective of God. And I remind you that God and human imagination are one. Nothing is impossible. The same power that spoke life into existence, that formed the worlds, that raised the dead, that power dwells in you as your very imagination. When you align with this power, through relaxed assumption, even the impossible becomes inevitable. I remember a woman who came to me many years ago. She was well past the age when doctors said she could conceive a child. Yet she desired nothing more than to become a mother. The medical profession had pronounced their verdict impossible. Her family had tried to console her, impossible. Society had its opinion, impossible. But I asked her a simple question: can you imagine yourself holding your own baby in your arms? She said yes. I told her, then every night as you fall asleep, hold that baby, feel its weight in your arms, smell its sweet scent, hear its gentle breathing. Make it so real that you can feel its tiny heartbeat against your chest. And do this not with strain, not with desperation, but with the gentle knowing that this is already yours in the realm of imagination. She followed this instruction faithfully. And I want you to note something important. She did not struggle to make it happen. She did not exhaust herself trying to conceive. She simply relaxed into the beautiful assumption that she was already a mother and allowed that assumption to saturate her consciousness. Within the year, she held her healthy baby in her arms. And the same doctors who had pronounced it impossible were calling it a miracle. But here is what I want you to understand. It was not a miracle in the sense of something supernatural occurring. It was the perfectly natural result of living from the end, of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and of relaxing into that assumption until it became her dominant state of consciousness. This brings me to a crucial point about allowance. When I say allow, I do not mean passive waiting. I do not mean sitting idle hoping something will happen. True allowance is an active state of consciousness. It is the state in which you have so completely assumed your desire fulfilled that you are allowing it to manifest in ways that may surprise and delight you, in ways that your limited human reasoning could never have devised. Most people fail in their manifestations because they not only want their desire, they want it to come in a specific way. They want the promotion, but only if it comes through their current company. They want the money, but only if it comes through their present job. They want the relationship, but only if it unfolds according to their predetermined script. My friends, this is not allowance. This is limitation. This is trying to be God's advisor, telling infinite intelligence how to arrange the circumstances of your good. True allowance means that you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then you stay alert and receptive to the ways in which it may manifest. You do not limit the channels through which your good may come. You do not insist that it happen in any particular way or through any specific person. You simply live in the consciousness of having it, and you allow the creative medium of imagination to bring it into being through whatever means serve your highest good. I once knew a man who desired to own a beautiful home by the sea. He had a very specific house in mind, one he had seen advertised but could never afford. Night after night he would imagine himself in that exact house, but always with the underlying worry about how he could possibly obtain it. He was trying to be both the one who imagines and the one who figures out how the imagination will be fulfilled. This divided consciousness kept his desire at bay. One day, I suggested to him that he change his approach. Instead of imagining that specific house, I advised him to imagine the feeling of living by the sea in a beautiful home. I told him to feel the ocean breeze, to hear the waves, to smell the salt air, to feel the deep satisfaction of owning such a home, but to release all concern about which house it would be or how it would come to him. I told him to relax completely into the feeling and to allow infinite intelligence to select the perfect home and arrange the perfect means of acquisition. Within 3 months, he inherited a magnificent seaside property from a relative he barely knew, a relative who had remembered him in her will after meeting him just once at a family gathering years earlier. The house was far more beautiful than the one he had originally desired, and it came to him free and clear. This is the power of relaxation and allowance working together. Now let me address the doubts that are arising in some of your minds. You are thinking, but Neville, what if I relax and allow and nothing happens? What if I imagine faithfully and my desire never manifests? My friends, this question reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of the law. The law of assumption is not a bargain you make with the universe. It is not a technique you perform in exchange for your desires. It is a law as reliable and consistent as the law of gravity. When you drop an object, you do not wonder if it will fall. You know it will fall because you understand the law of gravity. In the same way, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption, you should know with the same certainty that it must manifest because you understand the law of assumption. The question is not whether it will manifest. The question is only when and how, and these details are not your concern. Your only concern is to maintain the feeling of having your desire until it hardens into fact. But I understand your impatience. I understand that when you desire something deeply, waiting can feel unbearable. This is why relaxation is so crucial. When you are truly relaxed in your assumption, waiting does not feel like waiting. It feels like natural expectation, like the natural confidence that comes after you have planted a seed. and you know it will grow. You do not dig up the seed every day to check its progress. You water it, you give it sunlight, and you trust the natural process of growth. Your imaginal act is like planting a seed in the soil of consciousness. Once planted through assumption, once watered through repetition, once warmed by the sun of faith, it must grow. It must manifest. This is law, not hope. But just as you would not constantly disturb a growing seed, you must not constantly disturb your assumption with doubt, with impatience, with looking for signs in the outer world. This brings me to perhaps the most important aspect of relaxation in manifestation, the relaxation of your grip on the outer world as your source of evidence. Most people live in a state of constant reaction to their circumstances. If the bank account is low, they feel poor. If the body shows symptoms, they feel sick. If the person they love is absent, they feel unloved. They are allowing the outer world to dictate their inner state. And this is precisely backwards. The outer world is not the cause of your experience. It is the effect. It is the shadow cast by your consciousness, the reflection of your dominant assumptions, the crystallization of your habitual thoughts and feelings. When you understand this, you realize that trying to change the outer world without first changing consciousness is like trying to change your reflection in the mirror without changing yourself. It cannot be done. True relaxation comes when you stop giving power to circumstances and start giving power to imagination. It comes when you stop reacting to what is and start responding from what you want to be. It comes when you realize that no matter what appears in your world, you have the power to assume something different, and through that assumption to change what appears. I remember a man who came to me completely despondent about his financial situation. He had lost his job. His savings were depleted, and creditors were demanding payment. Everything in his outer world was screaming poverty, limitation, and failure. He wanted to know how he could possibly relax and assume abundance when every circumstance contradicted such an assumption. I explained to him that this was exactly when assumption becomes most powerful. I told him that anyone can assume abundance when their bank account is full. That requires no faith, no imagination, no understanding of the law. But to assume abundance in the face of apparent poverty, to feel wealthy when the outer world suggests otherwise, this is to exercise the godlike power of imagination that can transform any situation. I instructed him to completely ignore his circumstances for a period of time each day. During his imaginal sessions, he was to feel himself as a wealthy man, not trying to become wealthy, not hoping to become wealthy, but actually feeling wealthy right now. I told him to imagine his bank account filled with money, to feel the security and freedom that wealth provides, to assume the confidence and generosity of a truly wealthy man. But here is the key. I told him to do this with complete relaxation, without straying, without desperation. I told him to enter into these imaginings as easily as he would enter into a daydream, to make them feel natural and normal, to relax into the role of a wealthy man as easily as an actor relaxes into a character. Within weeks, opportunities began to appear. Not just one opportunity, but multiple streams of abundance that flowed into his experience with increasing momentum. A business partnership that had seemed dead was suddenly revived. An old investment that he had written off unexpectedly paid dividends. A skill he possessed but had never monetized suddenly found a lucrative market. Within months, he had not only recovered his former position, but had exceeded it many times over. The key was relaxation. Had he approached his imaginal work with desperation, with need, with the energy of lack, he would have perpetuated his experience of poverty. But because he relaxed into the feeling of abundance, because he allowed himself to truly feel wealthy without strain or effort, he impressed his subconscious mind with the conviction of abundance, and his outer world had no choice but to conform. This is why I emphasize again and again the importance of feeling in manifestation. You do not manifest what you think about. You manifest what you feel to be true. And true feeling cannot be forced. It must be allowed. It must be entered into with the same naturalness with which you enter into any state of being. Think about it this way: when you are happy, you do not have to try to be happy. Happiness is simply your natural state in that moment. When you are confident, you do not have to work at being confident. Confidence is simply how you feel. In the same way, when you assume your wish fulfilled, you should not have to work at feeling fulfilled. The feeling should arise naturally from your assumption, and you should relax into it as easily as you relax into any natural feeling. But what happens when the feeling does not come easily? What happens when you try to assume your wish fulfilled, but you feel nothing, or worse, you feel the opposite of what you are trying to assume? This is where most people give up, thinking they are not capable of manifestation. But I tell you, this is simply a matter of practice and persistence, combined with deep relaxation. You see, your current feelings are the result of long-established habits of thought and assumption. You have trained yourself to feel a certain way in response to certain circumstances. You have practiced certain emotional states until they have become automatic. To change these habitual responses requires the same gentle persistence with which you would train a child to develop any new skill. If you have been in the habit of feeling poor, you cannot expect to assume abundance and immediately feel wealthy. If you have been in the habit of feeling unloved, you cannot expect to assume love and immediately feel cherished. But you can begin to practice these new feelings in your imagination, gently and without force, allowing them to grow stronger through repetition. Here's a technique that I have found invaluable for developing the feeling of your wish fulfilled when it does not come naturally. Instead of trying to feel the whole of your desire at once, begin with just a fragment of the feeling. If you want to feel wealthy but can only access a small sense of security, work with that small sense. If you want to feel love but can only access a moment of appreciation, work with that moment. Take that small, genuine feeling and gently expand it. Not through force, not through effort, but through relaxation and allowance. Imagine that feeling growing naturally like a flower opening to the sun. Allow it to fill you gradually without rush, without strain. This gentle approach honors the natural rhythm of consciousness and allows new feelings to establish themselves without resistance from the old patterns. I knew a woman who had been alone for many years and deeply desired a loving relationship. Every time she tried to imagine herself loved, she would immediately feel the contradiction of her aloneness and become discouraged. I suggested that instead of trying to imagine a complete relationship, she begin by simply imagining a moment of genuine affection, perhaps remembering a time when she felt truly appreciated, or imagining a simple act of kindness directed toward her. Starting with just that small, authentic feeling of being cared for, she would relax into it and allow it to expand naturally. Day by day, she built upon this foundation, adding layers of feeling, security, companionship, joy, deep love, but always building from genuine feeling rather than trying to force an emotional state that felt foreign to her consciousness. Through this gentle, relaxed approach, she gradually established a new baseline of feeling loved and loving. And as her inner state changed, her outer world began to reflect this change. She became more attractive to others, more open to connection, more confident in social situations. Within a year, she was in a beautiful, loving relationship that exceeded even her original dreams. The key was that she allowed the feeling to develop naturally rather than trying to force it into being. She worked with her consciousness rather than against it, building new patterns of assumption on a foundation of authentic feeling rather than trying to impose alien emotions upon herself. This brings me to another crucial aspect of allowance, allowing yourself to be imperfect in your practice. So many people abandon their efforts at manifestation because they cannot maintain their desired state consistently. They assume their wish fulfilled for a few hours or days, then doubt creeps in, or old habits reassert themselves, and they conclude that they are failures at manifestation. My friends, consciousness is not a light switch that you turn on once and leave illuminated forever. Consciousness is more like a muscle that grows stronger through use, a skill that develops through practice, a garden that flourishes through consistent tending. You would not plant a garden and then abandon it because the weeds grew back after your first day of cultivation. You would patiently return, again and again removing the weeds and nurturing the desired plants until they grew strong enough to flourish on their own. Your new assumptions are like tender young plants in the garden of consciousness. They need time to develop strong roots. They need repeated attention and care. They need protection from the weeds of doubt and the storms of contradiction. But with patient, relaxed persistence, they will grow strong and eventually dominate your consciousness so completely that the old, unwanted patterns can find no soil in which to grow. I want you to understand that every time you return to your desired assumption, even after periods of doubt or reversal, you are strengthening it. Every time you choose to feel your wish fulfilled, even when circumstances suggest otherwise, you are impressing your subconscious mind more deeply. Every time you relax into the state of having your desire, you are making that state more natural, more normal, more automatic. Do not be discouraged by temporary lapses. Do not judge yourself for moments of doubt. These are natural parts of the process of consciousness transformation. Instead, gently return to your assumption. Relax into it once again and allow it to grow stronger through your persistence. I am reminded of a young man who desperately wanted to become a successful musician, but was constantly plagued by doubts about his ability. He would practice his assumption of success for several days, feeling confident and accomplished, but then he would hear another musician's performance and immediately sink into feelings of inadequacy and impossibility. For months, this cycle continued: assumption, doubt, discouragement, then a return to assumption. He came to me wondering if he should give up, thinking that his inability to maintain consistent faith meant he was not meant to succeed. I explained to him that this fluctuation was not a sign of failure, but a sign of growth, like the growing pains that accompany physical development. I told him that each time he returned to his assumption of success, despite the doubts, he was actually strengthening his faith muscle. Each time he chose to feel successful, despite evidence to the contrary, he was impressing his subconscious mind more deeply with the pattern of success. The doubts were not obstacles to his manifestation. They were opportunities to demonstrate his commitment to his new identity. I advised him to be gentle with himself during the doubtful periods, to not fight the doubts, but simply to not feed them with attention. Instead, when doubts arose, he should relax and gently return to his assumption, the way a parent might gently redirect a wandering child without anger or frustration. This approach transformed his entire experience. Instead of seeing his doubts as evidence of dividend, he began to see them as opportunities for practice. Instead of being discouraged by his fluctuations, he became patient with his process. And this relaxed, accepting attitude actually accelerated his progress. Within 2 years, he was performing professionally, earning substantial income from his music, and living the successful artistic life he had imagined. The relaxation I speak of extends beyond your relationship with your desires to your relationship with the process itself. You must relax your grip on how quickly things should happen, on what signs you should see, on what form your manifestation should take. You must allow the infinite intelligence within you to orchestrate the perfect unfolding of your good in the perfect timing and in the perfect way. I often think of manifestation like pregnancy. When a woman conceives, she does not wake up each morning wondering if she's still pregnant. She does not demand daily evidence of the baby's growth. She trusts the natural process. She cares for herself and the developing child, and she allows the pregnancy to unfold in its natural timing. She may experience moments of concern or impatience, but overall she rests in the confidence that birth will come at the right time. Your imaginal conception should be approached with the same natural confidence. Once you have impressed your subconscious mind with your desire, once you have felt it real and allowed that reality to take root in consciousness, you can trust the process of manifestation as completely as a mother trusts the process of birth. This does not mean you become passive or indifferent. The pregnant mother takes care of her health, prepares for the birth, and maintains her excitement about meeting her child. Similarly, you continue to assume your wish fulfilled, you remain alert to opportunities and inspirations, and you maintain your enthusiasm for your desire. But you do this from a place of confidence and expectation rather than from worry and doubt. There's a difference between working toward your manifestation and working from your manifestation. When you work toward your desire, you are acknowledging that you do not have it, that it is separate from you, that you must somehow bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This approach, no matter how much effort you apply, reinforces the experience of not having what you want. But when you work from your manifestation, you are acting from the assumption that you already have what you desire. You are not trying to get something, you are expressing something you already are. You are not reaching for a distant goal. You are living from a present reality. This approach aligns you with the creative flow and allows manifestation to occur naturally and joyfully. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Working toward abundance might involve anxiously searching for better paying jobs, desperately trying various money-making schemes, constantly worrying about bills, and feeling stressed about your financial situation. All of these activities, no matter how logical they might seem, are coming from the consciousness of lack and will therefore perpetuate the experience of lack. Working from abundance, on the other hand, involves first assuming the feeling of being abundant and then taking any actions from that state of consciousness. You might still look for better employment, but you would do so from confidence rather than desperation. You might still manage your money carefully, but from wisdom rather than fear. You might still work hard, but from joy and purpose rather than anxiety and need. The same actions taken from these different states of consciousness produce completely different results. Actions taken from lack reinforce lack. Actions taken from abundance multiply abundance. This is why your state of consciousness is infinitely more important than your circumstances or your activities. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that manifestation is not about changing what you do. It is about changing who you are being while you do it. It is not about finding the right technique or the perfect method. It is about discovering the right feeling and learning to live from that feeling consistently. This is where deep relaxation becomes essential. You cannot force yourself to feel abundant if you are anxiously focused on your lack. You cannot generate genuine confidence through willpower if you are constantly monitoring your fears. You cannot assume success if you are tightly gripping your current limitations. These new states of being must be entered into with the same ease and naturalness with which you enter into any experience. Think about how you feel when you are deeply relaxed, perhaps floating in warm water or lying in a comfortable bed on a lazy morning. There is no strain, no effort, no resistance. You simply allow yourself to be held and supported. You trust the water to buoy you up or the bed to support you. You do not have to work at floating or resting. You simply allow it to happen. This is the quality of consciousness I want you to bring to your assumptions. Allow yourself to be held and supported by the truth of your fulfilled desire. Trust the infinite intelligence within you to manifest your good just as you trust the water to support your body. Do not work at feeling fulfilled. Simply allow the feeling to carry you the way water carries a relaxed swimmer. But I know that some of you are thinking, Neville, this sounds beautiful, but my problems are real. My debt is real. My illness is real. My loneliness is real. How can I relax when these conditions are pressing upon me every day? My friends, I do not minimize your challenges, but I want you to understand something that will transform your relationship with every difficulty. What you call real is only real from the perspective of your current level of consciousness. From a higher level of consciousness, these problems are not ultimate realities. They are simply current manifestations of past thoughts and assumptions, and they can be changed as surely as they were created. When you stand at the foot of a mountain, the mountain appears immovable, permanent, overwhelming. But when you rise above it in an airplane, you see that the mountain is just one small feature in a vast landscape. It has not disappeared, but your perspective has changed so dramatically that its significance in your experience has been completely transformed. Your problems are like that mountain. From the perspective of your current consciousness, they may seem permanent and immovable. But when you rise to the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, when you assume the feeling of having overcome these challenges, you gain a perspective from which solutions appear, paths open, and what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. I once worked with a woman who had been diagnosed with serious illness that her doctors declared incurable. She came to me not asking for healing. She had tried everything the medical profession could offer, but asking for peace in her final months. She wanted to know how to accept what could not be changed. I told her that there was nothing she needed to accept except the truth that she was the creator of experience and therefore had the power to change it. I explained that her illness, however real it appeared, was the manifestation of past states of consciousness, and that new states of consciousness could manifest new conditions in her body. But here is what I want you to understand about her approach. She did not fight her illness with anger or desperation. She did not strain to overcome it through force of will. Instead, she relaxed completely into the assumption of perfect health. Every day she would spend time imagining herself completely well, feeling strong and vital, engaging in activities that her current condition prevented. But she did this with the same gentle ease with which one might recall a pleasant memory. She did not try to convince herself that she was well when her body suggested otherwise. Instead, she simply allowed herself to experience perfect health in her imagination, to feel grateful for her vitality, to assume the natural confidence of a healthy person. She relaxed into this experience so completely that it became more real to her than her physical symptoms. Within months, her doctors were amazed to find that her condition had not only stabilized but had begun to reverse. Within a year, she was declared completely free of the disease. The same doctors who had given her months to live were calling her recovery miraculous. But she understood that it was simply the natural result of changing her consciousness and allowing that change to manifest in her body. The key was her relaxed approach. Had she tried to force healing, had she battled her illness with stress and strain, she would have actually reinforced the very consciousness that had created it. But by relaxing into the assumption of health, by allowing herself to feel well without fighting what appeared to be, she created the inner conditions necessary for physical transformation. This same principle applies to every challenge you face. Financial problems are not overcome by anxiously chasing money, but by relaxing into the consciousness of abundance. Relationship difficulties are not solved by desperately trying to change others, but by assuming the feeling of being loved and loving. Career obstacles are not conquered by frantically searching for opportunities, but by dwelling in the confidence of success and allowing opportunities to find you. In every case, the solution comes not through force, but through relaxation. Not through struggle, but through assumption, not through working against what is, but through living from what you desire to be. Now I want to address something that prevents many people from experiencing this relaxed state of assumption, the belief that relaxation equals inaction, that if they truly let go and allow, nothing will happen. They fear that relaxation will make them passive, unmotivated, or lazy. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of the creative process. True relaxation in consciousness actually increases your effectiveness in action. When you are tense, worried, and struggling, you waste enormous amounts of energy in resistance and anxiety. Your actions become forced and inefficient. You make decisions from fear rather than wisdom. You push against life rather than flowing with it. But when you are relaxed in your assumption, when you are confident in your desired outcome, your actions become inspired and effortless. You move with purpose rather than desperation. You make decisions from clarity rather than confusion. You work with life rather than against it. Opportunities that were invisible to your tense, worried consciousness become obvious to your relaxed, confident consciousness. I think of a businessman I once knew who was struggling to save his failing company. He was working 18-hour days, making frantic phone calls, desperately trying one scheme after another. The harder he worked, the worse things became. His tension and desperation were actually repelling the very solutions he needed. I suggested that he completely change his approach. Instead of working from the consciousness of a failing businessman, I advised him to assume the consciousness of a successful entrepreneur. I told him to spend time each day imagining his business thriving, feeling the satisfaction of success, experiencing the confidence and vision of a truly successful leader. Initially, he resisted this advice. He felt that any time not spent frantically trying to save his business was time wasted. But his current approach was clearly not working, so he agreed to try something different. As he began to relax into the assumption of success, something remarkable happened. His decision-making improved dramatically. He began to see solutions that had been invisible when he was operating from panic. He became more attractive to potential investors and partners. His employees responded to his newfound confidence with increased motivation and creativity. Most importantly, he began to work smarter rather than harder. The inspired actions that arose from his assumed success were far more effective than all his previous desperate efforts. Within 6 months, his business had not only recovered, but was more profitable than it had ever been. This is what I mean when I say that relaxation increases rather than decreases your effectiveness. When you assume your wish fulfilled and relax into that assumption, you align yourself with the creative intelligence that knows exactly how to manifest your desire. You become a clear channel for inspired action rather than a resistant obstacle to your own good. The actions you take from this relaxed, assumed state are not forced or anxious. They are natural expressions of your new identity. Just as a confident person naturally takes confident actions, and a loving person naturally expresses love, when you assume your wish fulfilled, you naturally take the actions that are appropriate to that fulfilled state. But here is something crucial to understand. These actions often look different from what your rational mind thinks they should be. Your logical mind might think that the way to attract money is to work more hours at your current job. But from the consciousness of abundance, you might be inspired to take an art class that leads to a lucrative creative opportunity. Your reasoning mind might think that the way to find love is to go on more dates. But from the consciousness of being loved, you might be inspired to volunteer for a cause you care about, where you meet your perfect partner. This is why I emphasize the importance of following your inspirations when they arise from your assumed state. Do not judge these impulses by whether they seem logically connected to your desire. Trust that the intelligence that created the universe knows how to arrange the circumstances of your manifestation better than your conscious mind does. This brings me to another aspect of allowing that many people struggle with, allowing their manifestation to come in ways they did not expect. So often, people have very specific ideas about how their desires should manifest. And when the universe presents them with their good in a different package, they reject it because it does not match their expectations. I remember a woman who desperately wanted to get married. She had a very clear picture of her ideal husband, his appearance, his profession, his background, even his personality traits. She spent months imagining herself married to this specific type of man. But when a wonderful man entered her life who was quite different from her mental image, but who offered her deep love and companionship, she almost rejected him because he did not match her preconceived notion of what her husband should be like. Fortunately, she had the wisdom to look beyond her expectations to the feeling she truly desired, the feeling of being deeply loved and cherished. She realized that this man offered her everything she had truly wanted, just in a different form than she had imagined. They were married within a year and shared a beautiful life together. This is why I always advise people to focus on the feeling of their wish fulfilled rather than on specific forms or circumstances. The feeling is the essence of what you truly want. The form is just one possible way that feeling might be expressed. When you remain attached to specific forms, you limit the ways in which your good can come to you. When you focus on the feeling and allow the form to be chosen by infinite wisdom, you open yourself to manifestations that exceed your imagination. The same principle applies to timing. Many people become impatient when their desires do not manifest according to their preferred schedule. They want their good now, in this moment, and they interpret any delay as evidence that the law is not working or that they are doing something wrong. But I want you to understand that divine timing is always perfect timing, even when it does not align with your personal preferences. Sometimes a delay in manifestation is actually protection, preventing you from receiving your good before you are truly ready to handle it wisely. Sometimes what appears to be a delay is actually preparation, allowing circumstances to align in ways that will make your manifestation even more wonderful than you originally imagined. Sometimes the timing that seems wrong to your limited perspective is exactly right from the perspective of your highest good. I think of a young man who was desperately trying to manifest a specific job opportunity. He had imagined himself in this position for months, had felt the joy and satisfaction of doing this work, and had assumed it was his with complete conviction. But months passed and the position went to someone else. He was devastated, thinking that his efforts at manifestation had failed. But within weeks of this apparent disappointment, an even better opportunity presented itself, one that he had not even known existed. This new position offered him greater responsibility, higher compensation, and work that was more aligned with his true passions. Later, he learned that the original job he had wanted would have been eliminated in a company restructuring just months after he would have started. The delay that had seemed like failure was actually perfect timing, protecting him from a situation that would have caused him great stress, directing him toward an opportunity that was far superior to his original desire. This principle, when fully understood and applied with unwavering faith, will elevate you to heights you've scarcely imagined possible. The principle I speak of is encapsulated in these simple yet profound words: act as if you are the best. No one is better than you. Now you may be thinking, Neville, isn't this arrogance? Isn't this contrary to humility and modesty? And to that I say, my dear friends, you have been misled by the limitations of your physical senses and societal conditioning. For what I speak of is not ego-driven arrogance, but rather a profound understanding of your true nature, your divine essence. Consider for a moment the nature of the universe itself. Is it not a manifestation of perfection, of divine order? And are you not an integral part of this universe, a unique expression of the divine? When you truly grasp this truth, you will understand that acting as if you are the best is not arrogance, but an alignment with your true divine nature. Let us delve deeper into this concept as it applies to your life, to your consciousness, which is the one and only reality. When you act as if you are the best, you are making a powerful declaration to your subconscious mind and to the universe at large. You are stating with absolute conviction that you embody the highest and best qualities, that you are capable of greatness in all areas of your life. This, my friends, is the secret to unlocking your full potential, to manifesting your deepest desires and grandest dreams. For your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions. When you assume the feeling of being the best, when you act from a place of unshakable confidence and self-assurance, you are reshaping your entire world. Let us explore this principle through the lens of various aspects of life. In matters of career and professional achievement, many hold themselves back, doubting their abilities, comparing themselves unfavorably to others. But I tell you, this self-doubt is the very thing that creates the experience of mediocrity and failure. When you act as if you are the best in your field, when you carry yourself with the confidence of a top performer, you are telling your subconscious mind, I am capable of greatness. I am worthy of success. Imagine, if you will, a musician preparing for a performance. If they step onto the stage doubting their abilities, comparing themselves to other musicians, how can they possibly give their best performance? But if they step onto that stage fully embodying the belief that they are the best, that no one can play this piece better than they can, their performance will be transformed. They will play with a confidence, a passion, a mastery that will captivate their audience. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Whether you are a business person closing a deal, a parent raising a child, an athlete competing in a sport, or an artist creating a masterpiece, when you act as if you are the best, you tap into a wellspring of power and ability that you may not have even known existed within you. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I'm just starting out in my field. How can I act as if I'm the best when I have so much to learn? To this I say, it is not about denying the need for growth and learning. It is about assuming the state of the person you wish to become. When you act as if you are already the best, you accelerate your growth. You attract opportunities for learning and advancement. You become a magnet for success. Remember the biblical injunction, let the weak say, I am strong. This is not about denial or deception. It is about aligning yourself with your highest potential, your divine nature. When you say, I am strong from a place of weakness, you are not lying to yourself. You are declaring your true nature, calling forth the strength that already exists within you. Let us now turn our attention to the realm of relationships and personal interactions. Many approach relationships from a place of insecurity, always seeking validation, always comparing themselves to others. But I tell you, the secret to magnetic, fulfilling relationships to act as if you are the best, to carry yourself with unshakable self-assurance and self-love. Think of self-love and confidence as a fragrance you wear. When you truly love and believe in yourself, when you act as if you are the best version of yourself, You radiate an energy that attracts others to you. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and self-assurance. By acting as if you are the best, you not only transform your own experience of life, but also inspire and uplift those around you. In the realm of personal growth and self-improvement, the same principle applies. There are those who constantly berate themselves for their shortcomings, who focus on their flaws and limitations. But I tell you, this self-criticism is counterproductive. When you act as if you are the best, when you focus on your strengths and potential rather than your perceived weaknesses, you create the mental and emotional conditions for rapid growth and transformation. Consider the great achievers throughout history. Did they not act as if they were the best, even before their greatness was recognized by the world? Did they not have an unshakable belief in their abilities, their vision, their potential? It was this very belief, this acting as if they were the best, that allowed them to persevere in the face of challenges, to push beyond perceived limitations, to achieve what others thought impossible. Now, let us address a common concern that arises when discussing this principle. Many fear that acting as if they are the best will lead to complacency, to a lack of drive for improvement. But understand this: true greatness, true mastery is not a destination but a journey. When you act as if you are the best, you are not claiming perfection or completion. You are aligning yourself with your highest potential, committing yourself to continuous growth and improvement. Moreover, when you truly embody this principle, you understand that being the best means constantly striving to be better. It means setting higher standards for yourself, pushing your boundaries, expanding your capabilities. The true master, the one who acts as if they are the best, is always a student, always seeking to learn, to grow, to evolve. Let me share with you a personal experience that illustrates the power of this principle. When I first began my career as a lecturer and teacher of these universal truths, I was filled with self-doubt. I compared myself to other speakers, other teachers, always feeling that I fell short. But then I made a decision. I decided to act as if I were the best teacher of these principles, as if no one could convey these truths more effectively than I could. The transformation was immediate and profound. My lectures became more powerful, more impactful. My audience grew and I began to receive invitations to speak at larger venues. But more importantly, I found myself growing, evolving, deepening my understanding of these principles in ways I never had before. By acting as if I were the best, I called forth the best within me. And I continue to do so every day. This principle extends beyond individual achievement. It applies to every role you play in life. As a parent, act as if you are the best parent your child could possibly have. As a friend, act as if you are the most loyal, supportive friend anyone could ask for. As a citizen, act as if you are the most responsible, engaged member of your community. Consider for a moment the nature of your thoughts. Your thoughts are creative power, shaping your reality moment by moment. When you think thoughts of mediocrity, of not being good enough, you create experiences that reflect these beliefs. But when you consistently think thoughts of being the best, of excellence, of mastery, you set in motion forces that will bring these experiences into your life. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about humility? Doesn't the Bible teach us to be humble? And to this I say, true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. When you act as if you are the best, you are not placing yourself above others. You are simply recognizing and honoring the divine potential within you, the same divine potential that exists within all beings. Think of yourself as a unique instrument in the grand orchestra of the universe. To act as if you are the best is to play your part to the fullest, to contribute your unique tone to the cosmic symphony. It is not about being better than others, but about being the best version of yourself, about fully expressing your divine nature. Let us now explore how you can begin to apply this principle in your daily life. Start by observing your self-talk, the inner conversation you have with yourself. How often do you downplay your abilities, doubt your worth, compare yourself unfavorably to others? Make a conscious decision to change this inner dialogue. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply admire and respect. As you go about your day, carry yourself as if you are the best at what you do. Stand tall, move with purpose, speak with conviction. Act as if success is not just possible, but inevitable. Act as if you are already living your ideal life, as if you have already achieved your grandest dreams. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate this feeling of being the best within yourself, your outer world will begin to reflect this belief back to you. You will find yourself attracting opportunities that align with your newfound sense of self-worth. You will notice people responding to you differently, treating you with greater respect and admiration. But here's a crucial point. Do not act as if you are the best out of a need to prove yourself to others or to gain their approval. Act as if you are the best because it is the truth of your being, because it aligns you with your divine nature. The opinions of others are irrelevant. What matters is your own conviction, your own unwavering belief in yourself. As you embrace this principle, you may find that your entire perspective on life begins to shift. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will appear as opportunities for growth and self-expression. Failures will no longer devastate you, for you will see them as valuable lessons on your journey of continuous improvement. Success will no longer surprise you, for you will see it as the natural result of your alignment with your true divine nature. Consider the words of Jesus, "Be ye perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." This is not a command to achieve some impossible standard of perfection. It is a reminder of your true nature, your divine essence. To act as if you are the best is to align yourself with this divine perfection, to allow it to express itself through you in all that you do. Now let us address another aspect of this principle, the impact it has on your ability to serve others. When you act as if you are the best, when you fully step into your power and potential, you become capable of making a greater positive impact on the world around you. You become a beacon of inspiration for others, a living example of what is possible when one fully embraces their divine nature. Many hold themselves back from fully expressing their gifts, from stepping into their power, out of a misguided sense of humility or a fear of outshining others. But I tell you, by dimming your light, by playing small, you are not serving anyone. The world needs you to be your best self, to fully express your unique gifts and talents. By acting as if you are the best, you give others permission to do the same. Let us now turn our attention to the realm of creativity and self-expression. When you act as if you are the best, you free yourself from the paralyzing effects of self-doubt and comparison. You allow your unique creative voice to emerge, unencumbered by fears of judgment or criticism. Think of the great artists, inventors, and innovators throughout history. They did not create their masterpieces by doubting their abilities or constantly comparing themselves to others. They acted as if they were the best, as if their vision and their voice were uniquely valuable and worthy of expression. And in doing so, they brought forth works that continue to inspire and transform the world. You too have within you a wellspring of creativity, a unique perspective, a distinctive voice. When you act as if you are the best, you give yourself permission to fully express this creativity. You silence the inner critic that would hold you back, and you allow your true self to shine forth in all its brilliance. Now let us address a question that often arises when discussing this principle: what about competition? How can everyone be the best? And to this I say, true greatness is not about competing with others. It's about competing with yourself, about constantly striving to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. When you act as if you are the best, you are not claiming superiority over others. You are simply committing to bringing your best self to every situation, to every interaction, to every task. You are declaring your intention to live up to your own highest standards, regardless of what others are doing. Moreover, when you truly embody this principle, you understand that there is abundance in the universe. There is room for everyone to be their best self, to fully express their unique gifts. Your success does not come at the expense of others. On the contrary, as you step into your greatness, you create more opportunities for others to do the same. As we delve deeper into this principle, let us consider its application in the face of adversity and challenges. Life will inevitably present you with obstacles, with moments of doubt and uncertainty. It is in these moments that acting as if you are the best becomes most crucial. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how would the best version of myself handle this situation? Then act accordingly. Approach the challenge with confidence, with the unwavering belief that you have within you all the resources you need to overcome it. For in truth, every challenge is an opportunity for growth, for the further expression of your innate greatness. Consider the great leaders and visionaries who have changed the course of history. Did they not act as if they were the best, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds? Did they not carry themselves with unshakable confidence and conviction, even when the world doubted them? It was this very attitude, this acting as if they were the best, that allowed them to persevere and ultimately triumph. Now, let us at the common obstacle that prevents many from fully embracing this principle, the fear of failure. Many hold back from acting as if they are the best because they fear that if they fail, they will be exposed as frauds or imposters. But I tell you, this fear is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of success and failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of success. When you act as if you are the best, you understand that every failure is a stepping stone to greater achievement, every setback an opportunity for growth. You approach failure not with fear, but with curiosity and a determination to learn and improve. Moreover, when you truly embody the principle of acting as if you are the best, you understand that your worth is not determined by external outcomes. You are inherently valuable, inherently worthy simply by virtue of your existence. Your successes do not make you more worthy, and your failures do not make you less worthy. You are already the best simply by being who you are. As you embrace this truth, as you act from this place of inherent worth and confidence, you will find yourself taking more risks, pursuing bigger dreams, stepping out of your comfort zone. For you will understand that the greatest risk is not in failing, but in never fully expressing your true potential. Let us now explore the relationship between acting as if you are the best and your life's purpose. Many people struggle to find their purpose, feeling lost or unfulfilled. But I tell you, your purpose is intrinsically linked to your unique gifts, to the best version of yourself. As you act as if you are the best, as you fully step into your power and potential, you naturally align with your deepest purpose. Your purpose is not something external to be found, but something internal to be expressed. As you act as if you are the best, as you bring your highest self to every situation, you will find a sense of fulfillment and meaning that cannot be achieved through half-hearted efforts or playing small. Consider the great change makers and innovators throughout history. They found their purpose not by doubting themselves or playing it safe, but by fully embracing their potential, by acting as if they were the best at what they did. In doing so, they not only changed the world, but experienced a profound sense of alignment and fulfillment. You too have within you the power to make a difference, to contribute something unique and valuable to the world. As you embrace the principle of acting as if you are the best, you will naturally align with this deeper purpose. You will find yourself drawn to opportunities that allow you to express your unique gifts, to make your highest contribution to the world. Now, as we near the conclusion of our discourse, I want to impress upon you the importance of persistence in applying this principle. Acting as if you are the best, living from a place of unshakable confidence and self-assurance may feel unnatural at first. You may encounter resistance, both from within yourself and from others who are uncomfortable with your newfound confidence. But I urge you to persist. Make acting as if you are the best a habit, a way of life. Start each day by asking yourself, how would the best version of myself approach this day? How can I bring my highest self to every interaction, every task? As you do this consistently, you will find it becoming easier, more natural. It will become not something you do, but who you are. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. The same power that created the universe flows through you. The same intelligence that orchestrates the dance of galaxies is at work in your life, guiding you towards the full expression of your divine nature. Trust in this power. Align yourself with it by maintaining the unwavering practice of acting as if you are the best. In closing, I want to leave you with this thought: the state of being the best, of living in alignment with your highest potential, is not something external to be achieved. It is a state of consciousness to be assumed. As you act as if you are the best, as you live from this state of unshakable confidence and self-assurance, you are not pretending or deceiving yourself. You are aligning with your true nature, your higher self, the divine within you that knows no limitations. So go forth, my dear friends, and act as if you are the best in all that you do. Carry yourself with the confidence of one who knows their true worth. Speak with the authority of one who is aligned with their divine nature. Act with the certainty of one who understands that they are a unique and valuable expression of the infinite. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. As you act as if you are the best, as you embody the state of confidence and self-assurance, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension. You activate the law of assumption, drawing to yourself experiences that reflect your newfound sense of self-worth and capability. Let your every thought, word, and action spring from this new state of being. Let your inner conversation reflect the reality of being the best version of yourself. Speak to yourself and others as one who is fully aligned with their highest potential would speak. Carry yourself with the quiet confidence of one who knows that they are capable of greatness in all areas of life. And above all, have faith. Faith not as a mere belief, but as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Let your faith in your own inherent worth and capability be unshakable. For it is the very force that will move mountains and part seas to bring about the manifestation of your grandest dreams and deepest desires. As we conclude, I want you to take a moment to fully embrace this truth. Close your eyes, if you will, and feel the reality of being the best version of yourself. Feel the confidence, the self-assurance, the sense of purpose and alignment. Let it permeate every cell of your being. Breathe it in. Let it fill your lungs, your heart, your entire body. Now, with this feeling firmly established within you, go forth into your day. Let this feeling be the lens through which you view the world. Let it inform your every interaction, your every decision. For as you do so, you are literally reshaping your reality, molding it to match your inner vision of being the best. Remember, my dear friends, you are divine beings, co-creators with the infinite. The power to shape your reality lies within you. It always has, and it always will. By choosing to act as if you are the best, to live from a place of unshakable confidence and self-assurance, you are claiming this power, stepping into your divine birthright. So I say to you, with all the love and conviction in my heart, act as if you are the best, for in the deepest, truest sense, you already are. The greatness is within you. Claim it, embody it, express it, and watch in awe as your outer world transforms to match your inner reality, being the best version of yourself. Go now and create a life of unparalleled achievement and fulfillment through the practice of acting as if you are the best. For you are the operant power, the divine creative force, the I am presence in your world. And all things are possible to you. Blessings upon you all, and may your journey be filled with the joy of self-discovery and the sweet satisfaction of living in alignment with your highest potential.
My dear friends, we are here to explore a profound truth, a divine principle that has the power to reshape your entire existence. Tonight, we shall delve into the art of acting as you are the best. Now, let me be clear from the outset. When I speak of acting as you are the best, I am not referring to some external, worldly concept of superiority. No, my beloved, I am speaking of something far more profound, far more divine. I am speaking of recognizing and embodying the God within you, the perfect. You see, the great secret of life is this: your imagination is God. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself through you. And when you truly grasp this truth, when you fully embody it, you will understand that acting as you are the best is not an act at all. It is a revelation of your true nature. Let us begin by understanding the nature of reality. The world you see around you with all its seeming solidity is nothing but a shadow, a reflection of your own consciousness. It is a mirror showing you the contents of your own mind. And just as a mirror faithfully reflects whatever stands before it, so does your world reflect your beliefs about yourself and your place in it. So, when I urge you to act as you are the best, I am inviting you to change the image in the mirror. I am calling you to revise your concept of self, to see yourself as the divine, perfect being that you truly are. For when you do this, when you hold this image firmly in your mind, the outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match this new inner reality. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I act as I am the best when my current circumstances tell me otherwise? Ah, my dear friends, this is where faith comes in. Not faith in some external deity or power, but faith in the God within you, faith in the power of your own imagination. You must dare to assume the feeling of being the best, even when all external evidence contradicts it. Remember, the evidence of your senses is nothing but the fruit of past beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the past. But you, my beloved, are not bound by the past. You're free to plant new seeds, to imagine a new self, a new reality. Let me share with you a fundamental law of mind. What you assume, you become. Your assumptions have persisted in, hardened into fact. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the creative power of God working through you. When you assume the feeling of being the best, when you live from that state, you are literally reshaping your reality at its most fundamental level. Now let us explore how to put this principle into practice. The key lies in what I call the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter into the state of consciousness of already being best. Feel it, live it, breathe it. Make it so real, your imagination, that it becomes impossible to tell where imagination ends and reality begins. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself as the absolute best in your field, in your relationships, in your spiritual life. See yourself moving through the world with the confidence and grace of someone who knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are the best. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the deep sense of fulfillment that comes with this state. Use the crucial parts. You must maintain this feeling. You must live from this state. When you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you. Let it infuse every aspect of your life. Speak as the best would speak. Move as the best would move. Make decisions as the best would make them. You may ask, but Neville, isn't this deception? Am I not lying to myself? My dear friends, nothing could be further from the truth. Remember, your imagination is God. When you imagine yourself as the best, you are not creating a fantasy. You are recognizing a divine truth that has always existed. You are letting go of the illusion of limitation and embracing your true, limitless nature. Consider the words of Scripture. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is not a command to strive endlessly for an unattainable ideal. It is a recognition of what you already are. You are made in the image and likeness of God. Perfection is your true nature. Being the best is your birthright. Now let me address a common misconception. Acting as you are the best does not mean comparing yourself to others or seeking to outdo them. Remember, there is only one God, one consciousness, expressing itself through all. When you truly embody being the best, you recognize this same divinity in all beings. You lift others up, for you understand that their success is your success. Their joy is your joy. This understanding leads to a profound shift in how you move through the world. Instead of competing, you collaborate. Instead of seeking to prove your worth, you freely express your gifts. You become a channel for the divine, allowing the infinite creativity of God to flow through you unimpeded. Let us now explore the practical aspects of living from this state of being the best. It begins with your self-talk, the inner conversation you carry on throughout the day. Most people, unaware of the creative power of their words, constantly affirm their limitations and shortcomings. They say things like, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's too hard for me." But you, my dear friends, knowing the truth of who you are, must vigilantly guard your inner conversation. Speak to yourself as you would speak to the best. Encourage yourself, uplift yourself. Remind yourself of your divine nature. Let your inner dialogue be a constant affirmation of your perfection and power. Remember, your inner conversations are the fabric from which your reality is woven. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And make no mistake, these seeds will grow. They will bear fruit in your external world. So choose your inner words wisely, lovingly, powerfully. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Surely you might think, I can't just imagine being the best. I must do something to make it a reality. And you are right, action is important. But understand this. Inspired action flows naturally from a changed state of consciousness. When you truly embody the state of being the best, you will find yourself naturally taking actions aligned with that state. You won't have to force yourself to work hard or make difficult choices. The right actions will come to you effortlessly, joyfully. There's a natural expression of your new self-concept. This is the meaning behind the scriptural advice to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom of God is not some far-off heavenly realm. It is a state of consciousness. The state of knowing yourself as one with God is the best expression of divine perfection. When you seek this state first, when you live from it consistently, everything else falls into place. Now, let us address the challenges you may face as you embark on this journey of acting as you are the best. There will be times when the old patterns of thought and behavior try to reassert themselves. There will be moments when the evidence of your senses seems to contradict your new self-concept. In these moments, you must stand firm in your faith. Remember, the outer world is nothing but a shadow, a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power over you unless you give it power. Your task is to remain faithful to your vision, to a new concept of self. This is what it means to live by faith and not by sight. It is a commitment to your imaginal acts, a steadfast loyalty to the God within you. For remember, your human eyes may see lack, limitation, and failure. But the eye of God, your imagination, sees only perfection, abundance, and success. Let me share with you a powerful technique to strengthen your faith and deepen your embodiment of being the best. Each night, as you lie in bed drifting off to sleep, create a scene in your imagination that implies you are living as the best. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were actually happening. Perhaps you imagine yourself receiving an award for being the best in your field. Feel the weight of the award in your hands. Hear the applause of the audience. See the smiles of your loved ones. Or perhaps you imagine a quiet moment of deep satisfaction, knowing that you have given your absolute best and achieved remarkable results. Whatever scene you choose, replay it in your mind as you fall asleep. For in that drowsy state, between waking and sleeping, your subconscious mind is most receptive. It will accept the imaginal scene as reality and begin the work of bringing it into manifestation. Do this night after night, and you will be amazed at how your outer world begins to conform to your inner vision. For you are engaging in the highest form of prayer, the prayer of assumption. You are assuming the state of being the best, and in doing so, you are calling it forth into manifestation. Now let us address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. If I am to act as I am the best, does that mean I should ignore my current shortcomings or areas where I need improvement? This is a profound question and it deserves a careful answer. The truth is, acknowledging areas for growth and acting as you are the best are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are two sides of the same coin. When you truly embody the state of being the best, you naturally seek growth and improvement, not from a place of lack or insufficiency, but from a desire to more fully express your divine nature. Think of it this way. A master musician, acknowledged as one of the best in the world, still practices daily. A champion athlete at the peak of their game still trains rigorously. They do this not because they doubt their abilities, but because they are committed to expressing the fullness of their potential. So yes, by all means, identify areas where you can grow and improve, but do so from the state of being the best. Approach your growth not as a struggle to overcome deficiencies, but as an exciting opportunity to express more of your innate perfection. Remember, you are not becoming the best. You are the best, here and now, by virtue of your oneness with God. Any growth or improvement is simply a more complete manifestation of what already exists within you. Now, let us explore the ripple effects of acting as you are the best. When you embody this state, you become a living example of what is possible. You inspire others to recognize and express their own divine nature. You become a light in the world, illuminating the path for others. This is the true meaning of leadership. It's not about holding a position of authority or having others follow you. It's about being such a pure expression of your divine nature that you naturally uplift and inspire those around you. As you act as you are the best, you will find your relationships transforming. People will be drawn to your energy, your confidence, your joy. They will sense the God within you and respond to it with their own higher nature. You will find yourself surrounded by others who support and encourage your growth, who celebrate your successes as their own. In your work, you will find a new level of creativity and productivity. Ideas will flow to you effortlessly. Solutions to problems will present themselves with surprising ease. You will approach challenges, not with fear or stress, but with excitement and confidence, knowing that within you lies the infinite wisdom and power of God. Your health and vitality will improve as you align more fully with your divine nature. Remember, your body is a perfect reflection of your state of consciousness. As you embody the state of being the best, your body will naturally move towards its optimal state of health and well-being. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we discuss these principles. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if I act as I am the best, won't I become arrogant or egotistical? This is a common concern, but it stems from a misunderstanding of what it truly means to be the best. True greatness, my dear friends, is inherently humble. When you truly recognize and embody your divine nature, you simultaneously recognize this same divinity in all beings. You understand that your greatness is not personal. It is the greatness of God expressing itself through you. This understanding leads not to arrogance, but to a deep sense of gratitude and reverence for life. You become filled with a desire to serve, to share your gifts, to lift others up. For you recognize that in doing so, you are serving and uplifting God. So as you act as you are the best, do so with humility and love. Let your greatness be a gift to the world, a channel through which divine love and creativity can flow. This is the true meaning of being the best. Not to stand above others, but to stand as a clear expression of the divine, inspiring others to do the same. Now let us talk about persistence. Acting as you are the best is not a one-time event. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It is a continuous choice, a moment-by-moment decision to align with your true nature. There will be times when it feels challenging. There will be moments when the old patterns of thought and behavior try to reassert themselves. In these moments, you must persist. Remember, you are retraining your mind, rewiring your consciousness. This takes time and consistent effort. But here's the beautiful truth. Every time you choose to act as you are the best, every time you align with your divine nature, you make it easier to do so in the future. You are creating new neural pathways, new patterns of thought and behavior. Over time, being the best becomes your natural state, requiring no effort at all. So persist, my dear friends. Be vigilant in guarding your thoughts and assumptions. Be steadfast in your faith, even when appearances seem to contradict it. For remember, what you persist in assuming must invariably come to pass. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Acting as you are the best is not about achieving some future state of perfection. It's about recognizing and expressing the perfection that already exists within you, here and now. You are not becoming the best. You are the best by virtue of your oneness with God. Your task is simply to remove the veils of limiting beliefs and false assumptions that have hidden this truth from you. As you do this, as you consistently act from the state of being the best, you allow more and more of your divine nature to express itself in your life. Remember, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of spirit, in the imagination of God, all is now. The best version of you already exists, complete and perfect. By acting as you are the best, you are simply aligning your human consciousness with this eternal truth. So I urge you, my beloved friends, go forth from this place with a new understanding, a new commitment to living as the divine being that you are. Let every thought, every word, every action be an expression of your best self. Live from the state of being the best. And watch and wonder as your world transforms to match this new state of consciousness. For you are the operant power in your life. You are the God of your universe. As you think, as you feel, as you assume, so shall your world be. Therefore, assume the best, feel the joy and confidence of being the best, and your world will have no choice but to reflect this back to you. I remind you of the words of Scripture. I and my Father are one. This is not a statement of future possibility, but a recognition of eternal truth. You are one with the creative power of the universe. You are the best because you are an expression of the best, the divine, perfect, limitless God. So go now and live from this truth. Act as you are the best, not as a performance or a pretense, but as a revelation of who you truly are. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the path for others. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a clear and perfect expression of God in this world. Remember, your imagination's God. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, use it powerfully. Imagine the best, feel the best, be the best. For that is what you are now and always. Thank you, and may your journey of self-discovery and divine expression be filled with joy, wonder, and infinite possibility. As we conclude our exploration of acting as you are the best, I want to emphasize the transformative power of this practice. By consistently embodying your highest self, you set in motion a series of events that will reshape your entire world. Remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. As you maintain the feeling of being the best, your circumstances will inevitably align with this new self-concept. This journey of acting as you are the best is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, times when the old patterns of thought attempt to reassert themselves. In these moments, stand firm in your conviction. Return to your imaginal acts, to the feeling of being the best. For it is your persistence in maintaining this state that will ultimately bring it into full manifestation. As you continue on this path, you will find that being the best becomes effortless. It will no longer feel like an act, but a natural expression of who you truly are. You will move through the world with grace and ease, knowing that you are a perfect expression of your life will become a living testament to the power of imagination and the truth of your oneness with God. Remember, my dear friends, that in acting as you are the best, you're not only transforming your own life, but you are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. For we are all one, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. As you rise, you lift others with you. Your light shines not just for you, but for all who cross your path. So go forth now, embodying the truth of your divine nature. Act as you are the best, not from a place of ego, but from a deep recognition of your oneness with God. Let every thought, every word, every action be a reflection of this truth. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a clear and perfect channel through which the infinite love and creativity of God can flow into this world. Remember, you are the best because you are God expressing as you. Now go and live from this glorious truth. My dear friends, the truth I speak of is this. Be confident you will get everything in life. Now you may be thinking, how can I be confident of getting everything when my current reality seems so far from my desires? This, my dear friends, is precisely where we must begin our journey of understanding. For the world you see around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of your own consciousness. It is the fruit of your past assumptions, beliefs, and imaginal acts. But here's the wonderful news. Just as your current reality is the result of your past thinking, your future reality can be shaped by your present imagination. You have within you the power to create any reality you desire. This power is your own wonderful human imagination. And it is God in action within you. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. The Bible tells us in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. What is this Word? It is not mere letters on a page or sounds from your lips. The Word is your inner conversation, your assumptions about yourself and the world around you. It is the mental chatter that runs through your mind day and night, shaping your reality in ways you may not even realize. When you truly grasp this concept, when you understand that your inner world is the cause and your outer world is the effect, you will begin to see why confidence in getting everything you desire is not just possible. It is a natural state of one who knows the law. But let me be clear. This confidence is not the brash arrogance of the ego. It is not a loud proclamation to the world of what you will achieve. No, the confidence I speak of is a quiet, unshakable knowing, is the calm assurance of a farmer who has planted his seeds and knows that the harvest will come in due season. This confidence comes from understanding the immutable law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a thing to be true and persist in that assumption, it must become a fact in your external world. It does not matter what your current circumstances are, what others may say, or what past experiences you've had. The law is absolute and works with mathematical precision. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. My dear friends, positive thinking alone is not enough. You must go beyond mere surface level affirmations and embody the state of having your desire fulfilled. You must live from the end. What do I mean by living from the end? It means that instead of looking at your current reality and trying to figure out how to get what you want, you imagine that you already have it. You step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You create a scene in your imagination that implies your desire has already been realized. And you dwell in that scene until it feels natural and real to you. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of constantly worrying about your bills or focusing on your lack, you would create a scene in your imagination where you are living the life of abundance. Perhaps you imagine yourself looking at a bank statement with a substantial balance, or you feel the joy and relief of easily paying all your bills with money to spare, you would enter into this scene with all your senses, making it as vivid and real as possible, is the key. You don't just do this once and forget about it. You return to this scene again and again, especially as you fall asleep at night. You make it your new inner conversation. Instead of telling yourself, I'm always broke or I can never get ahead, you consistently assume the feeling of financial abundance. You live as though it is already true. This, my friends, is the art of confident assumption. It is the practice of aligning your inner world with your desires, knowing that your outer world must conform to this new inner reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what about action? Don't I need to do something in the physical world to achieve my goals? This is a common misunderstanding. Of course, action has its place. But true, inspired action flows naturally from your state of being. When you have truly assumed the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking the right actions at the right time. Consider for a moment how you would act if you already had everything you desired. Would you still be frantically searching for solutions? Would you be anxiously trying to make things happen? No, you would be calm, confident, and at peace. This is the state from which effective action springs. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is animated entirely by your consciousness. Therefore, trying to change things by manipulating the outer world is like trying to change your reflection in the mirror by touching the glass. The only way to change your reflection is to change yourself. And the mirror will faithfully reflect that change. This brings us to another crucial point. The importance of persistence. The law of assumption works with absolute precision, but it operates on its own time. Your desire may manifest immediately, or it may take weeks, months, or even years. The key is to persist in your assumption regardless of appearances. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You water it, you provide the right conditions, and you know that in due time it will sprout and grow into a mighty tree. Your desires are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Once planted through your assumption, they will grow and manifest in your reality if you persist in nurturing them with your faith and continued assumption. Now, let's address a common obstacle that many face on this path. Doubt. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and faith is essential for the operation of the law. But here's the beautiful truth. Even if you have doubts, even if you don't believe 100 that this will work, you can still succeed. How? By persisting in spite of your doubts. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between what you consciously believe and what you imagine to be true. If you consistently imagine and feel yourself living your desire, even if your conscious mind doubts, your subconscious will accept it as fact and begin to bring it into manifestation. This is why I often say, if you will assume your desire and live there as though it were true, no power on earth can stop it from becoming a fact. Your assumptions persisted in will harden into fact regardless of any contradictory evidence presented by your senses. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this point. Many years ago, when I first began to understand this law, I was living in New York City, struggling to make ends meet. I desired to travel to Barbados to visit my family, but I had no money for the trip. Instead of focusing on my lack of funds, I began to imagine myself already in Barbados. Every night as I fell asleep, I would feel the tropical breeze on my skin, hear the sound of the waves, and feel the joy of being with my family. I persisted in this assumption for several weeks, and then the most remarkable thing happened. I received a letter from my brother in Barbados containing money for a ticket to come home. The circumstances arranged themselves perfectly, and within a short time I found myself actually in Barbados, experiencing in the flesh what I had so vividly imagined. This, my friends, is the power of confident assumption. It is the power to shape your reality through the creative use of your imagination. And this power is not limited to small things or material possessions. It extends to every aspect of your life. your relationships, your career, your health, your spiritual growth. There's nothing that exists in this world that's not first conceived in someone's imagination. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about other people? Don't they have free will? How can I be confident of getting everything when it involves other people's decisions? This is a common concern, but it stems from a misunderstanding of the nature of reality. You see, everyone in your world is you pushed out. They are playing the parts that your consciousness has assigned to them. As you change your concept of self, as you assume a new state of being, the people in your world must conform to this new concept. This is not about controlling others. It's about understanding that your consciousness is the only operative power in your world. Have you ever had the experience of changing your attitude towards someone only to find that their behavior towards you changed as well, even though you didn't say or do anything different externally? This is the law in action. As within, so without. This understanding liberates you from the need to manipulate or control external circumstances. You no longer need to worry about how things will work out or try to force situations to conform to your desires. Your only job is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. The how, when, and where of its manifestation is not your concern. That is the job of the law, which works with a wisdom far beyond your conscious reasoning. Let's take this a step further. Not only can you be confident of getting everything you desire in life, but you can also be confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You see, as you begin to live from this new state of being, as you embody the person who has everything they desire, you'll find that your perception of challenges and obstacles changes. What once seemed like insurmountable problems become opportunities for growth and expansion. You begin to see every experience, whether seemingly good or bad, as a perfect reflection of your consciousness, providing you with the exact lessons and growth you need at that moment. This shift in perspective is crucial. It allows you to maintain your confident assumption even when things don't appear to be going your way. You understand that appearances are just that. They are the shadow, not the substance. The substance is your consciousness, your inner assumption. Remember, the time it takes for your assumption to become your physical reality is proportional to the naturalness of the state. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal acts as vivid and real as possible. The more real it feels to you, the more quickly it will manifest in your outer world. Now let's address another important aspect of this practice: detachment. While it may seem contradictory, being confident that you will get everything in life also involves a degree of detachment from the outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care about the results. Rather, it means that you trust in the law so completely that you don't feel the need to constantly check for signs of its working. Think about it this way. When you order something online, you don't spend every moment wondering if it will arrive. You place the order and then you go about your life confident that it will be delivered. This is the kind of detachment I'm talking about. You place your order with the universe through your assumption, and then you relax, knowing it must come to pass. This detachment also allows you to stay open to the infinite wisdom of your subconscious mind. Sometimes, what manifests may be even better than what you initially imagined. By staying detached from the specific form of your desire, you allow the law to work in ways that may surprise and delight you. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be grappling with: the concept of worthiness. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I be confident of getting everything when I don't feel worthy? My dear friends, listen closely to this truth. You are already worthy. Your worthiness is not something you need to earn or prove. It is your birthright as a child of God. The feeling of unworthiness is simply a state, an assumption you have accepted about yourself. And like any state, it can be changed. How? By assuming a new state of worthiness, by living from the end as a person who knows their infinite worth and value. Remember, you are not a mere mortal trying to appease some external deity. You are God in action, the operant power in your world. The Bible tells us, I and my Father are one. This is not blasphemy. It is the highest truth. When you truly understand and embody this truth, confidence in getting everything you desire becomes your natural state of being. Now let's talk about the role of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is not just a nice sentiment. It is a powerful creative force. When you are grateful for what you have, even before it manifests in your physical reality, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. You are telling the universe, yes, I'm ready to receive more. But here's the key. Your gratitude must be genuine. It's not about pretending to be grateful for things you don't really appreciate. It's about finding genuine reasons to be thankful even in your current circumstances. As you cultivate this attitude of gratitude, you'll find that more and more things come into your life for which to be grateful. This brings us to another important point. The power of your words. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words are a direct reflection of your assumptions. They are declarations to the universe of what you believe to be true. Therefore, be mindful of your speech. Speak as though you already have everything you desire. Let your words reflect the state of the wish fulfilled. For instance, instead of saying, I hope to be successful someday, say, I am successful. Instead of saying, I wish I had more money, say, I am abundantly prosperous. Your words should always align with your desired state, not your current circumstances. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of emotions in this process. Emotions are incredibly powerful. They are the fuel that gives life to your imaginal acts. When you combine vivid imagination with strong, positive emotion, you create an irresistible force that must manifest in your reality. However, it's important to understand that the emotion you're aiming for is not excitement or anticipation. These emotions imply that you don't yet have what you desire. Instead, aim for the calm satisfaction of knowing that your desire is already yours. Feel the relief, the peace, the quiet joy of having your wish fulfilled. This ties into another crucial aspect of being confident. You will get everything in life living in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means that you don't just imagine your desire for a few minutes a day and then go back to your old patterns of thought and behavior. Instead, you strive to embody the person who already has everything they desire. How would you think, feel, and act if you already had everything you wanted? How would you carry yourself? What would your daily routines look like? As you begin to live from this state, you'll find that your outer world naturally conforms to match your inner state of being. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you embark on this journey, the bridging of the gap. This is the period between when you start assuming your new state and when it fully manifests in your physical reality. This can often be a challenging time, as your senses may be telling you one thing while you're trying to assume another. During this time, it's crucial to remember that your senses only show you the effects of your past assumptions. They do not dictate your future. Your job during this bridging period is to persist in your new assumption, regardless of what your senses are telling you. This is where your faith is tested and strengthened. Think of it like this. When you decide to get in shape, you don't see results immediately. There's a period where you're putting in the work at the gym, eating right, but your body hasn't visibly changed yet. But if you persist, eventually your outer form catches up with your inner efforts. The same is true with your imaginative work. This brings us to another important point. The concept of divine timing. Sometimes your desires may manifest quickly. Other times it may take longer than you expected. Trust that there is a divine wisdom at work, orchestrating events in perfect timing for your highest good. Your job is not to try to force or rush the manifestation. Your job is simply to persist in your assumption, to live from the end and to trust in the perfect unfolding of the law. Remember, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure and will not be late. Now, let's talk about something that many of you may be struggling. Letting go of the old story. You see, for your new assumption to take root and flourish, you must be willing to let go of your old beliefs and narratives about yourself and your life. This can be challenging, especially if you've held onto these beliefs for a long time. But remember, your old story, no matter how familiar it may be, is just that, a story. It's a series of assumptions you've made about yourself and your world. And just as you created that story, you have the power to create a new one. This process of letting go is not about fighting against your old beliefs or trying to forcefully push them away. That kind of resistance only gives them more power. Instead, it's about gently but persistently turning your attention away from the old story and towards your new assumption. Every time you catch yourself falling into old patterns of thought or behavior, simply remind yourself that's the old story. It's no longer relevant to who I am becoming. Then, consciously shift your focus back to your new assumption, your new story. This practice of mental diet is crucial. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, be mindful of what you're feeding your mind. Guard the portals of your mind. Be selective about the thoughts you entertain, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume. Everything should align with and support your new assumption. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you begin to apply these principles. The concept of revision. Revision is a powerful technique that allows you to rewrite your past and shape your present and future. The idea is simple yet profound. If you can change your memory of an event, you change its impact on your life. You see, your past only exists in your memory. And memory, like imagination, is a function of consciousness. Therefore, you have the power to revise your memories, to reimagine past events in a way that serves your present desires and future goals. This doesn't mean denying what happened. It means reinterpreting events in a way that empowers you rather than limits you. For instance, if you have a memory of failure or rejection that's holding you back, you can revise that memory. Reimagine the scene with a different outcome. See yourself succeeding, being accepted, thriving. As you practice revision, you'll find that not only does it change your relationship to your past, but it also shifts your present reality and opens up new possibilities for your future. This is because you're literally rewriting the story of your life. And as we've established, your story shapes your reality. Now let's talk about the importance of persistence. Being confident that you will get everything in life requires unwavering persistence in your assumption. This doesn't mean you never have doubts or moments of weakness. It means that despite these moments, you always return to your assumption. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you may wobble and fall, but you get back up and try again. Eventually, maintaining balance becomes second nature. The same is true with your assumptions. At first, it may feel unnatural to assume a state that's different from your current reality. But with practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Remember, the law is always working. It doesn't turn on and off based on your moods or temporary lapses in faith. As long as you return to your assumption and persist in it, the law will bring it to pass. This brings us to another crucial point: the importance of living in the present moment. While it's necessary to imagine and feel your desired future, it's equally important to be fully present in your current reality. Why? Because the present moment is where your power lies. It's the point of creation, the only place where you can make choices and take action. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring your goals or desires. It means being fully engaged with your life as it is now, while simultaneously holding the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. This balance allows you to appreciate and make the most of your current circumstances while confidently moving towards your desired reality. As we near the end of our time together, I want to emphasize a fundamental truth. The confidence that you will get everything in life comes from knowing who you really are. You are not a limited, mortal being subject to the whims of an external world. You are a divine, infinite being, creating your reality through your consciousness. When you truly grasp this truth, when you fully embody it, confidence becomes your natural state. You no longer need to strive or struggle to achieve your desires. You simply assume the state of the wish fulfilled, knowing that it must manifest in your physical reality. My dear friends, as you leave here today, I urge you to begin living from this new understanding. Choose an aspect of your life where you desire change. Create a scene that implies this change has already occurred. Enter into that scene with all your senses. Feel the reality of it. Then carry that feeling with you throughout your day. Watch how your perception shifts. Notice how opportunities aligned with your desire begin to present themselves. Pay attention to the subtle changes in your relationships, your circumstances, your entire world. Remember, the outer world is constantly conforming to your inner assumptions. As you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your reality has no choice but to reflect this back to you. Be patient with yourself in this process. Like any new skill, it takes practice. There may be times when you slip back into old patterns of thought. When this happens, gently but firmly bring your attention back to your desired state. Persist. And above all, have faith. Faith not in some external power, but in the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination. Trust in the law that states whatever you assume and feel to be true must and will objectify itself in your world. Go forth now and live from the end. Act as though you already have everything you desire. Feel the joy, the fulfillment, the gratitude of having all that you want. And watch in wonder as your world transforms to match your inner state. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are the author of your life story. Write it beautifully, live it fully, and watch as your dreams unfold into your living reality. Thank you. And may your imagination be filled with the grandest visions of your ideal life. For as you imagine and feel it to be real, so it must become. In closing, my dear friends, I want to leave you with this final thought. The journey you're embarking on, the journey of conscious creation, is the most important work you will ever do. It is nothing less than the discovery and expression of your true divine nature. As you practice these principles, as you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you're not just changing your external circumstances, you're evolving your consciousness. You're expanding your awareness of who you truly are, what you're capable of creating. This work requires courage. It requires faith. It requires persistence. But the rewards are beyond anything you can currently imagine. For when you master the art of conscious creation, when you fully embody the truth that you are the operant power in your world, you step into a life of true freedom, joy, and limitless possibility. So go forth with confidence, my friends. Know that you have within you everything you need to create the life of your dreams. Trust in the law, persist in your assumptions, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Remember, the world is your mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you your innermost assumptions and beliefs. As you change your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the promise and the power of the law. Be bold in your imagining. Dream big. Assume states that may seem impossible from your current standpoint, for nothing is impossible to the power that resides within you. And as you walk this path, as you begin to see the fruits of your imaginative work manifesting in your reality, share this knowledge with others. Help them to awaken to their own divine nature, to their own creative power. For as more and more individuals awaken to this truth, as more and more people begin to consciously create their reality, we move closer to a world of harmony, abundance, and joy for all. This, my friends, is the great work we are all called to do. This is the true purpose of our existence, to awaken to our divine nature and to create a world that reflects the highest and best within us. So go now with confidence, with faith, with persistence. Know that you will get everything in life, for you are the creator of your reality. The power is yours. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and watch as miracles unfold in your life and in the world around you. Thank you, and may your journey be filled with wonder, joy, and the thrill of conscious creation. For you are the operant power